How you doing, y'all? Daniel Gaines here. This may have to be broke down into two videos because I want to really go through hers, and then I want to get into mine a little bit. So, video is limited to about a half hour. Otherwise, it breaks it up anyway. So I'll probably do this in two parts. Before I get into this, I just want to show y'all. Look, this really is her restraining order attempt. See? Recent. And then this really is my response. But the reason I'm showing you this now, hold on, let me see. See? We'll get to that in a bit. But the reason I'm showing you all this now, response, 1 of 229. Petition, 1 of 6. Response, 1 of 229. So we'll go through it. I'm not going to go over all 229 pages, but we'll go over stuff. But for the start, let's get into this. Alright. It puts all the normal bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, my daughter's name and that's right there, so I'm not showing that. But then all the typical bullshit that you can expect from a order of protection, blah blah blah, keep me away 500 feet. One of the things she said is respondent is prohibited from calling, texting, Facebook messaging, or other methods of communication with the victim or the minor child. Faith Gaines. Problem with this is I don't call Juliet. Typically the text I can show, with 2 exceptions, maybe 3, every time that we text was because she texted me first. Facebook messaging, again, I can show where she or her friends are messaging me first. I don't reach out to her. Other methods of communication, there is no other methods of communication. I don't send things to them or anything else. But it's more so she's worried about me contacting our daughter. It's not so much she's worried about me doing anything to her. She's worried that I'm going to contact our daughter, because I did. I legally can do that. I have every right. Blah, blah, blah. More bullshit. Typical stuff. Y'all can pause the video and look through it, but if y'all have ever dealt with this, you know the typical bullshit and everything else. This part here is funny. Why she said she wants the emergency petition granted. There is a very serious chance of physical harm or death to the victim, and there is a very serious threat of harm and or kidnapping of the minor child. Now, keep that in mind. That's going to play a part here again, the kidnapping of the minor child part. That comes up again in a minute, so keep that in mind. Statements. Here's what she says. Describe the most recent, and then we'll get into this. Daniel has threatened myself as well as a social worker, attorney general, my lawyer, and all the judges involved in our case with physical harm, as well as threatening to release everybody's personal addresses and children's addresses. In addition to threatening to harm them himself, he has posted on YouTube and Facebook all of the above people's information and requested that his followers threaten and harass everyone. Now, part of this is bullshit, as y'all know. Some of it I did do, like put their email addresses and stuff out there. It's all public information, as I stated at the time. But I do recall I told everybody not to threaten them in the video. And it's not harassment to tell them that what they've done is criminal and a violation of the law and a violation of protected rights. That's not harassment when it's stating fact. And as far as their information, they're public officials, public servants. Their information's public anyway. But let's go on. Additionally, he has stated numerous times over the past few weeks that he can and will show up at my house anytime he wants and hurt me and kidnap my daughter. See, there it is again. I claimed numerous times I would show up to her house. I can show up to her house, or can and will show up to her house anytime I want and hurt and kidnap her daughter. Notice how she says my daughter, not our daughter, my daughter. Problem is, whereas I did tell her I could show up anytime, I never once said I was going to, and in fact, the only reason I said I could was stating that the orders are void, and there's no order stating I can't. Not that I was going to, but that I could, because there's no standing order in place that's valid. But anyway, keep this part in mind about the whole kidnapping my daughter shit, because it's going to come back. He said the courts and police cannot stop him, and there is nothing I can do about it, and that he is going to make myself and all the people involved in the case pay for what we've done. I did say that they couldn't stop me from going over there because there's no order in place. But she's intentionally making it seem like worse, intentionally stating it out of context. As far as making them pay for what they've done, I've stated clearly that it will be done through the courts. Very clearly. And text messages show that and everything else. She says, today my social worker, which is Jarrell Sanders, one of the clowns I put out his email address, informed me that Daniel has purchased a plane ticket to fly out here. My social worker is equally concerned about Daniel's behavior and threats and agreed that I needed to come and get an emergency restraining order ASAP. But yet, she refused to have him appear in court on her behalf. There was no purchase of any said plane tickets. Nothing was ever filed or anything else. It never actually happened. The only plane ticket that I purchased was last year in March with the specific intent to go to the Mason County Courthouse, which I did, and get a court order from there, which I did, and then left the state. But anyway, let's go on. Past stuff. This is all she's got, is all past shit. This shit's all up here's a lie, but we'll get into that. Daniel was physically abusive to me and my daughter when we were together, married back in 2003 and 4. He threw me down a flight of stairs when I was 7 months pregnant with Faith and hit me repeatedly. He was also abusive to my daughter on numerous occasions when he was having his in-person visitations with my daughter between the ages of 1 and 4 years old. Now, y'all know from other filings where she's stated that allegedly I threw her down the stairs, but never that I hit her. Nor has she ever said, and you can look, the other filings are already on YouTube. You can look at the other restraining order attempts. Never has she said, does she claim I was abusive to our daughter. Now she's saying on numerous occasions while he was having in-person visitations. The problem is the only visits I ever had, she wouldn't have been around to have been aware of any physical abuse, because the times I had my daughter, let's see, there was when my daughter was about 2 years old when Juliet lived in Oklahoma, where I had Faith in Illinois. Juliet was out of state. There was the other time where Faith was in Illinois with me for a week while Juliet was in Washington in 2004 filing all this bullshit, fraudulent documents. After the first week, me and Faith spent the second week at our home in Louisiana. The only other time that I was around to be able to have any kind of visits with Faith was whenever Faith was 4 years old. The last day was the day of her 4th birthday. It was the day before that and the day of her birthday, in which Juliet was around the whole time. Juliet actually got mad and jealous because Faith wanted to hold my hand walking into Walmart to go get her do her birthday shopping and everything else. And then that night, whenever Faith was told to lay down on Juliet's lap and finish watching Shrek, since she wanted to finish watching it on the night of her birthday, she got to stay up late to finish watching it. Faith got up and came over and laid her head on my lap, and then that's whenever, from there, things went downhill because Juliet again got jealous. But let's go on. Daniel has threatened physical violence against myself, my parents, my past partners, my past roommates, and friends numerous times over the past several years. Included but not limited to threatening to knock all my teeth out, stomp my head so no more blood came out, to send me a dead dog's head, to kidnap my child, and I should live in fear because I never know when he will show up and kill me. Again, some of this stuff's never been said before. All of it's bullshit because she cannot produce any witnesses that'll state that any of this is true. The one witness she tries to bring up, Melissa Roth, I can easily destroy her arguments, and they're well aware of this. That's why she won't fucking go to court and make these comments if I'm putting in an appearance or anything, because she knows she can't. He bit Faith on the arm when she was about 13 months old and left a full set of teeth marks on her arm that stayed there for days. He refused to take proper care of her while she was still in diapers, to the point that I had to take Faith to the ER because she had such a bad diaper rash that she had open bleeding sores from her hips all the way down to the middle of her thighs. Now, If you look back at the video I did where I showed the restraining order hearing from 2015 in Mason County, it's on there. You can find it. If you look at that and listen to the restraining order hearing, you can clearly hear her and her fucking punk ass lying bitch of a dad talking about this alleged diaper rash incident. Now, why is it that neither her or her daddy mentioned fucking ER visit, bad diaper rash, open bleeding sores from her hips all the way down to the middle of her thighs then under oath, but now all of a sudden that's the case, but yet there's no evidence or anything to support any of it, just in 2015 generic fucking pictures from online that I could have got thrown the fuck out had I have known about and been aware of what my attorney was doing and dealt with the shit on my own. But again, this is all going to be addressed soon enough. Watch. He continues to text myself and my daughter, see again where she says my daughter, despite being asked not to in a parenting plan saying he is not allowed to. He has also been harassing my father and making threats about trying to get my dad fired from his job if I don't comply with him. Now again, where's the proof of these claims? Because the harassing her father is recent. Where am I harassing her daddy? By stating the fucking facts, calling him a liar? I've already shown the documents that prove he's a fucking liar. I've shown the background reports that prove he intentionally filed a document under penalty of perjury that he knew to be fucking false, and he did so specifically to try to interfere with my parental rights on behalf of his daughter. I've already shown this evidence, so how is it harassment if it's true? Making threats about trying to get him fired? That's not a threat if I'm stating fact. If I'm stating fact that the American Medical Association might take issue with the fact that a doctor who is obligated to abide by a code of ethics is an unethical fucking piece of shit, that's not my problem. That's your daddy's fucking problem for being an unethical piece of shit and intentionally committing perjury with the specific intent to deprive a parent, a fit parent, of their rights, which is child abuse. He helped with your parental alienation. Parental alienation is child abuse. Your daddy's a doctor, a medical provider for minors. He's not allowed to engage in child abuse. That's fucking criminal for him, yet he's guilty of doing so. And I've already proven that with what I've shown. So again, more lies. But let's continue. I went to the ER when he threw me down the stairs. I never received treatment for when he hit me because I was not allowed to leave the house unless he was with me. Again, notice how none of this shit's ever been said before. In 2015, that was the first time she ever claimed anything about a hospital visit, ER, or anything when she allegedly got thrown down the stairs. Alright? The problem with that is she only brought that up after the judge asked her. And then you can see in the video that she changes her story repeatedly. So, it's again all bullshit. It's all bullshit lies, and her own fucking documents prove it. Her own filings are what her worst fucking enemy is, because she can't keep her lies straight from one telling to the next, like I've always accused. But let's continue, shall we? Does the respondent own or possess firearms? Yes. Bitch ain't seen me since fucking, let's see, when was it? 2007 was the last time she seen me outside of Zoom court hearings. How would she know what I do and don't possess, what I do and do not do, what I do and don't have? Now, to be honest, the answer is yes. She did answer it correctly, but my point is, how the fuck would she know when she doesn't know anything about my house or my home? She doesn't know what the fuck goes on here or what is here. Anyway, she says that I have verbally threatened me. He has verbally threatened me and my past roommate and friends and partners with a baseball bat, a knife, and guns. He has physically threatened me with a knife and a stereo speaker. Stereo speaker's never been said before, and now she's adding new shit to it, making things plural and blah, blah, blah. But again, there's no evidence of anything. It obviously never happened, and more lies. But I guarantee if you ask her to give examples of these, she'll get facts confused and start twisting, or new things will appear and everything else, like stereo speaker, which is completely new. I guarantee you everything that she's put in all her other documents will change if you ask her questions about it. She was actually asked, if you watch the restraining order hearing, which is on YouTube already, she's actually asked for examples of some of the things that she alleges, and she's unable to give any specific details, examples, or anything else. She's unable to do that because she knows she's fucking lying, and there's nothing to give. But again, we'll get to this. He has threatened to assault and or kill me, my ex-partners, past roommates, and friends. with various weapons such as guns, knives, cars, and a baseball bat. A car? Really? When did that get added in there? That I don't know if that's ever been in there before, so that might be new. But again, any of her friends, roommates, past partners, or any of them type of people, I've met most of them. Okay? I've met, well, of the ex-partners anyway, I've met a few of them. And I can tell you now, I would not need any of those to harm them. If I wanted to harm them, I wouldn't need any weapons. In fact, I would advise them to grab the gun or the knife or the car or the baseball bat and act first. However, I don't want to harm these fools. I think they're dumb. Well, the ones that are still with her. I think the other ones are smart for bailing when they did. I don't wish them no ill will at all, in fact. I mean, hey, live your life, do what you do. I ain't got no issues with you. You ain't got shit to do with me. You ain't shit to me anyway. I ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't know your story. You don't know shit about me. You just know what this lying bitch has been telling you. I will say that one of them will have his day in court, and that's Skip, her current husband, or whatever the fuck he is. He will be included in the lawsuit because he's filed documents lying through his fucking teeth. So, this one, does he possess a firearm or dangerous weapons? Yes, he is very violent and aggressive and has a history of harming me and my child. Again, she says I have a history, but yet nothing she can show because there is no history. None. I can prove that her entire quote-unquote history is fabricated and lies, and have already done so. Even in court, with getting every fucking one of them thrown out for lack of cause and lack of evidence, every one of the 6 have been thrown the fuck out. Clearly there's not a history of anything but you being a lying fucking bitch. Anyway, because it has been 17 years since I divorced him and he's still continuing to track me down and threaten me. Okay, this I have to comment on, because notice how she says I'm tracking her down to threaten her. Notice how she doesn't mention the fact that it could be the only reason I find out where she's at whenever she repeatedly moves, or have for the last 17 plus years, is because she's got my fucking daughter with her. If we didn't have a kid together, I wouldn't give a fuck about her. But yet I can show you on Facebook where she recently, just within the past couple days, sent me a fucking question mark through Facebook Messenger. I don't know why the fuck she would even send anything to me. I can also show you where these fucking fake ass comments on my fucking Facebook or on my YouTube videos come from her or her friends on her at her request. She's the one stalking my shit. I don't stalk her shit. I don't message her. I don't reach out to her. I deal with the courts, not her. As far as track her down? No, I don't track you down, dumbass. I find my daughter. She'll be 18 soon, so now when she leaves your home, you'll notice I don't find where you're at. If I look at anybody, I find where she is, not you. It's never been about you with your fucking egotistical, fucking manipulative, I think psychotic self. But at the very least, narcissistic and sociopathic self. But I digress. Additionally, he has escalated to threatening to hurt and or kill the judges. Never have I threatened to hurt or kill the judges. I have said that maybe street justice is what they deserve, but that's not saying I'm going to administer any street justice. I personally believe that they do need to meet meet justice, but I think it needs to be through the courts, and I think prison time and everything else, loss of their seat on the bench, loss of their law license, and things of that nature is what they need to be punished with, not physical harm. Although, in some cases, I mean, the law is, if it's criminal, and 18 U.S.C. 242 is in what they're being charged with, which wouldn't be from a citizen or anything else. That would actually be from a prosecutor or some kind of investigation, because that's a criminal law. If that were the case, the law actually states it can include up to the death penalty, depending on the severity. I don't think that's going to be the case from mine alone. Now, jail time should be unavoidable for several. Loss of license to practice law and loss of seat on the bench should apply to just about every one of them. A couple maybe sanctions only, and some education, but I don't think it's anywhere near the maximum punishment under the law. Now, if you take all the cases that they're guilty of doing the same thing to, then it might get to that point, but that's not for me to decide. I'm not a judge at the highest courts that would ultimately be the ones required to address that issue. I'm not that person. I'm a nobody. All I can do is sue them for their violation of my rights in the law, and I plan to do so. But let's go. Kill judges, social workers, hurt and or kill judges, social workers, and other legal professionals involved in our case. I have no reason to believe he will ever try to hurt me or my child. Well, considering I've never hurt you or our child, and in fact you're the one guilty of causing the harm, irreversible and irreparable harm to our child, again, that's comical. But let's go on. Yeah. All this time, she knows for a fact, even though we haven't seen each other in person, only through Zoom court hearings since 2007, 14 fucking years, she knows alcohol and drugs are a part of my life. I ain't drank in fucking over a decade. At all. Never had an alcohol abuse problem. Did I drink? Yeah. Whenever I was younger, I would drink. I ain't gonna lie. I'd go out to bars and shit like that. Go to bonfires with my friends and barbecues. So I got a fan when I'm sitting out in my garage. And it's hot. But, yeah, I used to drink. I had every fucking right to. Every right to. I was over the age of 21. My bills were still paid and everything else. The bitch was still getting her child support and everything else. She won't tell you all that. She won't tell you none of that. But I did drink, yeah. As far as drugs, weed's about the only drug I've done. I mean, I have tried other shit. I have done other shit. I can't lie. I won't lie. But, let's see, since before Faith was born, the only things I've done since then are drink and smoke weed. And like I said, it's been over a decade since I drank. Actually, that's not entirely true. Let me take that back. In the last more than a decade, I've had 3 beers in total. 3 beers. One was at my brother, my little brother, not blood, but my little brother. I don't claim my actual blood, so. But my brother's bachelor party. They had a party bus and everything. Was going bar hopping and shit like that. I went with him and stuff. My little brother's bachelor party. He wanted me to drink a beer with him, so okay, I did. Drank 1 beer and that was it the whole night. And then the other 2 beers was at the same night, playing Risk with my brothers. Family just all together playing the board game Risk. They was all drinking and shit, wanted me to drink a couple beers with them, so finally I was like, alright, I'll drink a couple beers. I drank 2 beers and was like, nope, I'm good. Don't care to drink. As far as the weed smoking goes, it's legal in the state of Washington. Can't say shit. Whatever. Okay, let's go on. But under penalty of perjury in the laws of the state of Washington, that the foregoing is true and correct. Dated alright. So, that being the case, let's go look at some of this. Y'all can look through that. Questions of law, applicable laws. Oh yeah, we're still going on applicable laws. Several pages. Then we have applicable case law and precedent. Here, hold on. I want y'all to see this first. That's where it starts. 5 of 229. Y'all can actually pause this, slow down, and go through and use this case law, because this case law will actually apply to a lot of parents who are targeted by the courts. You can use this. I mean, it's all gold, really. Use it, apply it, learn it. And that's where we get to the statements of facts. Statements of fact, right? Page 12. That's how many pages of case law I use. And that's not even all. That's just a very small fraction. Alright? However, as you can see, they don't have any kind of action over me or anything else. Part of what I want to show you is some of my exhibits on this, my evidence. So we're going to get to that real quick. Again, you ever seen anybody respond to a restraining order attempt with a 229-page filing? I did. Y'all see it. Y'all seen the case number as well. You can look in the fucking court system at Pierce County in Pierce County, Washington. You can look in the court system and see, you can go and see that this actually was filed, a 229-page response to a restraining order. And the judge knew, or the commissioner knew about it. She knew about the evidence I had filed. She even admitted, if you look at the video, she even acknowledged the fact that she was aware that Juliet was lying through her teeth. Here, I'll show y'all. Fuck it. Faith Gaines. Daniel and Juliet. Legit, I have the. That's just obviously a scanned copy because that's a court filing. I have the document inside my house. But that's one of my exhibits. And then obviously my other ones, my next exhibit, that was exhibit A. Exhibit B is all her other restraining order attempts. Here's a couple things I want to show y'all. Look at exhibit C. This is from 2004, when Juliet was in Washington claiming that I was such a danger to her and our daughter. If I was such a danger to her and our daughter, why is that my mother in my mother's home with mine and Juliet's daughter? See, I had faith with me in 2004 while Juliet was in Washington. And these pictures prove that. That's me in 2004. That's my beautiful little bald-headed baby. That's my little sister. The more you know, right? The more you know. Oh, and there's a certain thing I'm looking for. Blah, blah, blah. More restraining orders from another exhibit. 2004 restraining order and shit was just the first exhibit. Alright. We gotta make sure her phone number's not on here. And find the right text. Hold on. Here, I'll show you. The gray is hers. These ones, the blue ones are mine. Green ones are mine. This is one she sent me. Let's do a hypothetical question situation and suspend reality for a moment. Just out of curiosity, let's say in this hypothetical scenario world that you prove in court that I lied about where I lived in 2004. What then? Because she knows what I'm going to prove. So she's asking. Here's some other she claims. Also, you're not allowed to post court about to post about court stuff related to me or my daughter online, YouTube, Facebook, and etc. Actually, I can. I have First Amendment protected right to do so. Sucks to be you. But I'm going to go ahead and stop this video right here. I'm going to start the upload on this, and then I'm going to go ahead and record a second one, because otherwise I'm going to go over this time limit and this is going to break up into 2 videos anyway. So I'd rather officially pause on this one and know where it's going to be broken up at. That way it's a controlled break and everything. So give me a few minutes. Let me get this one uploading, and then I'll start recording the next one. So after you watch this one, just know if the other one's not up yet, it'll be on its way in just a few minutes, where I'm going to go over the rest of this little bit of stuff. I'll be right back.